press the release button. We get a momentary flash of volts and then an open loop circuit and back to 0 volts, which is what you'd expect if the circuit is working correctly. If we set the meter for ohms resistance, we can check the solenoid to see if the windings are intact. If there's a break in the windings, you won't get a reading. It'll register as an open circuit. What you're looking for is a little bit of resistance. Mine registers about 2.3, 2.2 ohms and works perfectly. To take the solenoid off, you have to take the unit off, which is bolted on by two M8 XZN triple square screw bolts. Importantly, not to be confused with double hex bolts. And because the bracket is adjustable, we need to mark around the bracket so we can put it back in the exact same place, assuming that is it's correct in the first place. Then we need to take off the remote boot release, if you have one. First mark the adjuster and then slacken off the locking nut. Then turn to the nipple end and with a sharp tool turn the plastic grommet around so the slot is vertical, enabling the nipple to come out when you pull it back. Then unwind the remaining threads and the whole cable will come out. Make sure the bit drive is securely seated in the screw bolt head socket. And remove from the car. Here's the unit out of the car. It pretty much comes as a complete unit with one part number. You can just see the number here, but I'll leave it in the description as well. But you can just get the solenoid motor part, which may be slightly cheaper. And if you look at the solenoid housing, on initial inspection, it looks like you can prise it apart, which you may be tempted to do. Just be warned that these clips are actually designed to break if you attempt to detach them. You can take the solenoid off by unscrewing the screws on the rear side of the bracket. Then importantly, don't try and unclip any of the linkages as they're liable to break easily. So you want to be detaching it at the central pin juncture by pulling up where the slot is and it will detach. You can see here the kind of ball and socket configuration on the end of the actuating pin. Refit the solenoid pin by slotting the knuckle into the socket up against the shoulder. Screw it back to the bracket, being careful not to over tighten the screws. And then align the bracket on the car, fitting the screws to hand tightness so you can still adjust it. Finalise the alignment and tighten down to the correct torque. Screw the adjuster into your adjustment